What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Morning Movie Chat. I am your host, Trinity. Thank you all so much for being here once again on Friday. Man, guys, it is Friday, man. Can you believe it's already Friday? I'm telling you, this year is absolutely flying by. This month has flown by. And, guys, I'm not sure if you're aware or not, but this is my 1 year anniversary. I know, right? Exactly 1 year ago today, I started this channel and I dropped. God, I can't remember if I dropped my first video on the same day that I started the channel or whatnot, but I can't believe that it's already been a year. And along with being my channel being 1 year old, another thing I want to say before I get into a whole lot more is I want to give a huge shout out to Demaj, one of my brothers from the Dark Council on Some Black Guys and a Drunk. It is his birthday as well. So, if you guys follow Damaj and I here on YouTube, if you follow him on Facebook, Twitter, or anything like that, or even Instagram, make sure you go wish him a happy birthday. It's his birthday. And I just want to say, once again, happy birthday, Damaj and I, my brother. It's been great knowing you, man. It's been great knowing you. Had a lot of times, had a lot of great times interacting with you on Some Black Guys and a Drunk. Always a good time. I see we got a few people here in the chat already. We got the Senate. What is up, my brother? Marquise Roberts. Hey, man. Thank you so much for being here. I know I just ran into you over on Dylan's comic book rants yesterday. So hey, man. Thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Let's see. Aggressively relaxing says, "Yay! Congrats!" Hey, man. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you very much, Chip. Yeah, I'm onto you, Chip. I know, man. Now that we all know. Now that we all know, man. Let's see. We also got Wookiee Supremacy, man. Wookiee Supremacy is an absolutely great guy as well. Just woke up and haven't seen episode 4 of The Mandalorian. Are you going to spoil it, or should I just go watch it? I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it or anything. I'm trying to be very cognizant of those kinds of things. I mean, since you brought that up last week, and then as well as somebody felt I did a couple of comic book reviews a few weeks ago, and one of them somebody's like, "Hey, man, you spoiled it." I was like, "Oh man, like they were right." So I'm trying to be more cognizant of that. I'm not going to spoil the episode though. I will not spoil that. He says, and if I do, I will let you know, Wookiee Supremacy, if I'm going to get into any kind of spoiler territory kind of things. More than anything, I'm just going to kind of talk about the episode, not necessarily what happened in it. Um, Let's see. Rhodes Rant says, "What's up at work? But trying to listen." Well, thank you so much for being here. Aggressively says, "Hey, Wookie, welcome to the Mandalorian spoiler hour." Oh man, funny stuff. Lou, what's up? He says, "Good day, mates. Stopping by to leave a like. Take care. All right, man. Lou, you have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, man, listen in for a while if you can." So anyway, guys, yeah. Before I really get into a whole lot other else, I just want to say, you can see these awesome people down here who are Patreon supporters of the channel. Thank you all very much for being Patreon supporters. I do have to get that updated though, because I did gain a couple of extra new Patreon supporters here over the past couple of days. We got Maverick Pilgrim, who became a Patreon supporter. Thank you so much, Maverick. And I know I got another one as well that I am forgetting about, and let me check to see who that is so I can give them their proper due. Travis Acosta, Travis A. Thank you so much for becoming a Patreon member. I do greatly appreciate it, guys. I appreciate any of you guys. Who are donating to the channel, who choose to donate to the channel in any capacity. I greatly appreciate that support, as well as all of you who are here viewing all of the videos and watching my channel. Again, that is just as to me, that's just as big a support as donating the money. Again, greatly, I really do appreciate that. I'm going to be getting a new green screen soon, and then after that, I'm going to be working on just some different things as well. Darth Wacko, what is up, my brother? How you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well. So yeah, I guess today, first, guys, there are a couple of things I want to talk about. There's a couple of things I want to talk about today, and first of all, one of the things I'm going to be talking about is the same thing I talked about yesterday. Same thing. It seems like I constantly have to talk about here on the channel, and that is like with fandoms and being discontent, and just what level of fandom are you, and who is to say? You know what I'm saying? Know what I mean? Who's to say what level of fan that you are? That you have to be some sort of big fan, that you can't just be a normie and enjoy all of the things that we love out there. I'm going to be talking about that, but first I am going to get in and actually talk about something important, some actually rather important stuff, rather than just people who just don't know how to read or like to have misunderstandings about things. So going right off the top, we're going to go ahead and talk about The Mandalorian, episode number 4. And again, I am not going to spoil anything here. I'm just going to give my opinions on the episode. Now, in this episode, we see a lot of things going on in this episode, and you got to remember this is episode 4, so we are now halfway through the series. There's going to be 8 episodes, as far as I'm led to believe. There's going to be only 8 episodes of the Mandalorian, and we're at the halfway point at this point. So basically we're kind of like halfway through. So that means we're like halfway through Act Two of what would be this whole series. And guys, I'm telling you, I think the real. I think the kind of and we got into Act Two basically in the last episode here, and I think this really kind of builds on what happened in the previous episode and carries it forward, and just in the way that I would expect it to. In this act two, we seen where there was, the climax of the last episode was there towards the very end of the episode. Just great stuff, and this kind of really just builds upon that, where we see the Mandalorian, obviously he got Baby Yoda back, and now he is trying to find a means to keep the child protected, and just lay low and stay off the radar as he's going after his next bounty. Apparently, does that bounty still stand after the last episode? Does that bounty still stand? And there's something I wanted to talk about too, because I even heard them on the John Campea show talking about this as well, where they think that it was just kind of just happened to be coincidence at the end of episode 3, when the Mandalorian shot yeah, I can't even remember his name now. The guy who's handing out all the bounties, Carl Weathers' character. Well, should we just call him Apollo? I'm not gonna call him Apollo, but his character at the end, when he took that shot at him and it hit him in that Beskar steel. I heard people talking about this. I heard him on the John Campea show saying they think it was just a coincidence. Just part of what happened in the story, but it's not coincidence, guys. Okay, it was purposeful. Okay, for one, the Mandalorian is getting bounties to go after from him. Okay, he's getting bounties from him. Essentially, he's not working for him, but he's basically, helping him make money, as well as making money on his own. Okay, while he was obviously at odds with Carl Weathers' character by the end of the episode. We seen there was foreshadowing in the episode. Okay, there's foreshadowing in the episode where he shows him. He's like, "Hey, I got rich off of it too," and he shows him the Beskar steel and he tucks it away in his jacket, and it shows exactly where he tucked it away at. And then at the end of the episode, the Mandalorian, after he shoots the little thing, all the smoke is flying everywhere, and he has time to line up a shot. He has time to actually kill the dude. Okay, he has time to actually kill him. He's sitting there looking right at him, had his gun pointed right at him. He had time to kill him. He had time to take a shot that would wound him, a shot that would kill him, or anything. He had time to take that shot, and he shot him right there in the Beskar steel that we seen earlier in the episode where he tucked it away. It's not like this happened days later or anything. Okay, it's not coincidence. He did it on purpose, and Carl Weathers' character knew that he did it on purpose. I can guarantee it's not just coincidence. It's just how it is. Honestly, am I wrong here? Am I wrong? I don't know. But anyway, yeah, we can see that in this episode, the Mandalorian goes through, he does everything he can to keep this child protected, and runs into some, I guess, gets some attention brought his way anyway. Now, obviously we see that there are plenty of bounty hunters. There's plenty of tracking units and everything going on, and the way episode 3 ended, we can obviously see that naturally rolls into episode 4, all of these kinds of things. And now I kind of feel like this episode, I'm not for sure on this episode if it was a little longer than it needed to be, or if it was maybe too short for what happened, because there were some things that happened in this episode, like for one thing, one of the things that happens in this episode, like when you're doing these sort of things, like you need a montage, right? And they did a little montage, but you're gonna need a montage, like a real montage, to kind of really set some of these things going up and going forward. And I think they made the same mistake kind of in was it episode 2? No, it was episode 1. With the same thing, where once again they had a longer episode, and I know a lot of people have been complaining about these episodes only being 30 minutes, where this one we get was I don't know, what was it, about 40 minutes. Sometimes we get these episodes that are longer while we might want them. Sometimes I think we get things in them that we don't necessarily need. And at this point, with this series and everything. We need more of just what we need, not like filler stuff right here. And I think what's going on in this episode, um, I don't know. Like I said, and I've talked about this before. I think episode one, actually, the pacing of it and everything that happened, kind of really set the whole series back. Like it stumbles on that, and this one right here, I think, kind of it really kind of built on that too. The same thing. Like, was it too long or was it too short? I mean, I think possibly we had another episode of The Mandalorian. We probably could have had 9 episodes and probably should have, as rather than the 8. And I think a lot of that is due to the pacing and the things that happen in these episodes, the way they've ended, and just the way it's progressed. For me, I'm not sure that they have done the best throughout this first half of the series, and I could be absolutely wrong here. I could be absolutely wrong. I'm open to being wrong. I'm not perfect, and I'm not like some sort of professional critic here or anything right here. I just know what I like, and I know what I like seeing, and I know kind of just everything that I know about films from watching as many films as I have. And I feel that this one not suffers from pacing necessarily in and of itself, but maybe because of what happened clear back in episode one. Again, that's just something I feel. Altogether, though, guys, I do like this episode. Some of the things that happen in it seem a little, I don't know, seem a little on the nose, I guess you could say. But obviously, once again we get another episode that has plenty of action in it, plenty of cool things happening, and it's not a lot of over the top action, just some really cool stuff happening throughout this episode as we see the Mandalorian doing the best he can to lay low and take care of Baby Yoda. Again, I thought it was a great episode. I think kind of the peak, I don't know, maybe, I mean, what to you guys has been the best episode so far? If you haven't watched episode 4 yet, obviously you don't know, and to put that in there, and let me know if you haven't watched episode 4 yet, to decide what is your favorite of these episodes so far. I think for me, man, I'm not really for sure which one I think is the best one, because episode one was really good, though it does have its faults. I thought episode two is really good, and even episode three, just everything that happens in there is kind of like, oh yeah, this is what we're waiting for, baby. Oh yeah, give me more of that, give me more of that. And we kind of get, I don't know, it feels like we get a little balance of all of the episodes in this fourth episode of The Mandalorian, and I could be absolutely wrong there, but I think it was some pretty cool stuff, but. Again, it seems like this one follows a lot of typical tropes out there. In I guess you could say like the the world that this movie, like the homage that this series is kind of doing, in some of the other like movies and shows that it's kind of building on, paying homage to. So I think it was a good episode, and this episode was actually directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and obviously, in case you don't know, she is the daughter of the great Ron Howard. Okay, and I thought she did a pretty good job with the episode. And I think the pacing of this episode was pretty good, but again, there's just some things in there where it seems like they kind of went over a little too fast, or maybe not enough, didn't dive enough into. But overall, I mean, it was a good episode. It was a good episode, and just seeing this episode only makes you want to see episode 5 even more. And that's something I think they've been absolutely great at doing here with this series, is giving you just enough in each episode to make you want to watch the next one, to tune in next week. And I know a lot of people out there have been disappointed in the fact that we haven't that they didn't just drop all these episodes at once and you can binge them. And I don't think that's a bad thing, guys. To me, I think that's a good thing, and they're really playing on that really well, because like, it seems like a lot of the shows, when they drop all at once, you get to binge them all at once. Like, you binge them all at once, and then you kind of forget about them, unless it's just that great of a series. And I don't think this is one of those series that if they dropped all the episodes, that we'd just binge watch them all and stop talking about it. I think we'd probably be going back and rewatching them, and talking about it even more. So, and I think that's one thing that's definitely cool about them not doing the whole thing. But then, would we still be continuing to talk about them in the same way that we are now, where we see people, the episode drops on Friday, and then we see, the conspiracy theory, or I guess not even conspiracy theory, but the theories coming out for like the whole next week until we get the next episode. I don't know. I don't know. And a cool thing in this one is we get even more mentions of the Empire, and basically all the stuff that had happened after after the return of the Jedi in this episode. I mean, they really took some of that past lore and kind of built on it a little bit more, and I thought that was really good what they did here. And the way they, just the way they talk about those things in these scenes. And we know that when they talk about these things, just like in these scenes where they're just kind of sitting down having a little chat about stuff, if you follow like the MCU and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you know that this is, they take advantage of those times a whole lot. In the MCU, a lot of the Easter eggs and things that play further on, the further on you get into the series, all those little mundane things they talk about, you think like might be, they just mentioned it. It doesn't really mean nothing. End up being the things. Those are the seeds that they plant to, to to build on later. And I think they did that here by planting the seeds of the stuff that they talked about. Where they were talking about things that had happened basically before the Mandalorian series takes place. After the return of the Jedi, they planted those seeds here, and they're gonna. I have a feeling they're gonna bloom into something cool because we noticed that they mentioned Endor and all that kinds of stuff here in this episode. So I don't know, guys. It was really good. Obviously, we got Gina Carano finally comes into the series. We knew she was coming, and at first I gotta be honest, because I didn't really pay attention to like her outfit and stuff through the marketing. But I was like maybe she's the one who's doing the maybe she's the blacksmith that's molding all the stuff. But apparently she's not, and she is in this episode. And again, I think she's obviously new to acting, so she's not like the best actress. But I think right here in this episode, they really played to her strengths, and that's something that any good director is going to do when you get an actor like that. Is you're going to play to their strengths. Now, I've talked about this before with like Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman. Patty Jenkins played to her strengths because Gal Gadot is not a good actress. Okay, she's not a good actress. She's a very beautiful lady. Yes, she's very beautiful, but she's not the best actress. I mean, and I'm not saying she's terrible, but she's just not the best actress. And she needs to improve in her acting chops and things like that. And Patty Jenkins took Gal Gadot and took what she had and what she could work with and played to all of her strengths. And that's why Wonder Woman is such a good movie, is because Patty Jenkins was able to do that and harness those things and pull that out of the actress. And I think Bryce Dallas Howard did that perfectly well here with Gina Carano in the episode. Like I said, she's somewhat new to acting and everything, so she's not the best actress, but she definitely played to a lot of her strengths in this in this episode. Really good stuff, really good stuff. And hey, Gina Carano's not bad to look at neither. She's kind of a buff, bigger looking chick, and hey man, there's nothing wrong with that. Hey, but that's just me. I could be wrong. Maybe you don't like maybe you don't like Gina Carano or how she looks or anything. I think she's a beautiful woman as well. I mean, she's no Gal Gadot, but to me, Gal Gadot, she's beautiful, but she's a little on the skinny side for me. I'd rather have, yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about preferences, and besides, I'm married anyway, guys. Right? Come on, guys. She's a mother. Tell me what movie that's from. Okay, so but yeah, guys, I think this episode was really good. I'm sure maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll talk about that again soon, maybe here towards the end of the weekend, or on a live stream or something, maybe on Sunday when I do my 1 year anniversary stream. And that is going to be on Sunday, not tomorrow, as I forgot. Tomorrow, Saturday, is right after Thanksgiving, and we got a bunch of family stuff to take care of. So maybe talk more about that on Sunday when I do my 1 year anniversary live stream. So let's go ahead and get back into here, and let me know in the comments below if you guys have got to. We've got to check episode 4 out. So let's see who else we got in here. It looks like, oh man, 12 people in here. You guys are awesome, dude. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, let's see who else has joined in. We got Aggressively Relaxing has joined in. Lou, I may have seen Aggressively here earlier. Dark with Wacko. Rhodes Rants, what is up, my brother? How are you doing? Aggressively Relaxing says, I just found some footage of one of the episodes of my 1980s public broadcast TV show where I ran the first show ever to be critical of Star Wars. Ooh. I've got to check that out. Is that what your latest video was, Aggressively Relaxing? Because I seen you dropped it. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. The Comic Assassin, what's up, my brother? How are you doing? Dr. Wacko says, "Me too. I'm watching Escape from New York. I must have missed something there, but hey, man, Escape from New York is great, man. I haven't watched that movie in a long time, but I remember when I was a kid, man. I love that movie. It's a great movie." Um, Marquis Roberts says, aggressively relaxing. Got some wicked spam call vids. A Valhalla's okay. Is that what it was? Yeah, and yeah, aggressively relaxing is great, man. I love his videos are friggin' awesome. Just great stuff. Aggressively relaxing says, thank you so much, Marquis. I'm about to drop another where I get a telemarker angry about Hickman's X Men messing up the Marvel continuity. Ooh, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's good. Grief Karga. Okay, yeah, that's his name. Grief Karga. Man, why are you giving me grief? um, what's this? Marquise Roberts says Rose the Rantalorian. That's good. That's good. Um, um, the sense says glad he's alive. I like Carl Weathers. Yeah, Carl Weathers is great, man. He's good. Um, Comics Club. What's up, my brother? How are you doing? Let's see. Aggressively relaxing says I keep making Carl Weathers is cheap jokes thanks to his character in Arrested Development. Why make a suit of why make a suit of armor when you can just put put some metal in your pocket, right? That's all you got to do. That's all you got to do. You know what I mean? Or just take, like maybe the doors of a old black stove and tie them up around your neck, and as oh wait, dang it, Clint Eastwood already done it. And we could say that for this whole series, you know what I mean? This whole Mandalorian series, we could just easily say, you know what? Clint Eastwood already done it. Like today's episode. You ever seen Pale Rider? Come on, man. Wookie says, when exactly do the new episodes drop at midnight? I think they must drop at midnight because I know they weren't on last night when I went to sleep. I'm here on the West Coast though, but I went to sleep, I don't know, around 10ish, and they weren't on. So yeah, I'm guessing around midnight, like whatever time zone that you're in. I could be wrong there. Let's see. The Comics Club says, for me, it can't be too long. I'm loving this show. They could pan the landscape or dwellings for 10 straight minutes with no sound, and I'd still like it. Yeah, yeah. Again, I mean, and that's again, that's for you. And I wouldn't be mad seeing a little bit more of it. But sometimes the danger is when you get an episode that when if it gets too long, you're gonna put things in there that don't need to be there, and you're just dragging things out. And I think that's one thing that's nice about the streaming service, and they don't have to stay to 30 minutes. They could if an episode has to be 25 because they just don't need to put more into it, make it 25 minutes. If it has to be 36 minutes, make it 36 minutes. If it has to be 52, make it 52. There should be no set time frame that it has to be, especially given the platform that they have. But it should only really have the necessary things in it to build the story and carry it forward. And to me, I think episode one kind of stumbles in that a little bit, and I think this episode four stumbles in that just a little bit as well. I think each of these episodes, I mean, should maybe sometimes they should be shorter, maybe sometimes they should be longer. But altogether, I mean, I have no real big complaints about that. The comic book G Spot Galvin. What's up, my brother? How you doing? He says, "Yo, brother, how you doing?" Agreed. Yes. Agreed. Yes. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I did. Well, I guess I did. Yeah, we just sat here at the house, being lazy with the family. Caught up on some comic book reading. I'm kind of like way behind on. Got caught up on some stuff. Got some reviews to shoot. Read some, plenty of new comic books as well. Not just catching up on. So yeah, it was good. We didn't have any food or anything. We're going to my friend's house for Thanksgiving today, and then on Saturday, tomorrow is when we're getting together to do the big family thing. Um, so yesterday was just kind of lazing around, being lazy, enjoying family time. I guess it was good. And plus, here in Southern California, it snowed yesterday. It never snows here in Southern California, at least not where I live at. At least not where I live at. Like you could go about 12 miles up the road here from where I live at, and you get into like the mountains and everything, and it snows there. They pretty much get all four seasons, but here where I live at and on the edge of the desert, we rarely ever get snow. So we got snow yesterday. The kids were outside playing. They built a couple snowmen, and yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Um, Wookie says I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, you're all good. And again, I'm not going to spoil it. Dr. Backer says I like three, haven't seen four yet. All right, yeah. Let me know, guys. Let me know what you think about it when you get a chance to watch it. It was a pretty good episode. Some cool things happen in it. again, playing, just on, typical tropes out there, with these kind of movies and what's going on here so far that we've seen in The Mandalorian. We can see they're playing on a lot of those kinds of things, like basically paying homage to like the spaghetti westerns and things like that. And here, they pay homage to something else. I kind of feel like, kind of, yeah, they do. Um, Comics Club, just a Rican is comics. What's up, my brother? The Comics Club says episode 3 was best for me, but I am easy. I loved each one. Yeah, I've liked each one as well. I liked each one as well. Very, very good stuff. Um, let's see. Darth Backer says, "I hope they give John a trilogy." Man, that would be cool, man. Jon Favreau. I mean, Jon Favreau is just a good filmmaker anyway. I mean, just from, I think, God, what was the first one I ever seen him do? Was it Swingers or was it Made? I can't remember which one of those came first, but just great stuff. I mean, Jon Favreau's just always been a solid director and things like that as well, man. He's just good. Um, just Rican says tired but here. All right, man. Must have had a little too much turkey yesterday. All right. Um, Aggressively relaxing says it was cool seeing baby yak face in this episode. Oh man. Um, Wookiee Supremacy says, "I'm Gen X. I grew up waiting a week for other episode of anything." Yeah, me too, man. Me too. And it's not a bad thing. I think more the streaming services should probably do that with their shows. Um, Baby Yoda still to show. I must. Oh man. Okay. Um, let's see. The Comic Assassin says, "Word Wookie. Sometimes it's nice to have the anticipation for what comes next, rather than instant gratification. That is another reason why comics are awesome. Yes, it is. It's also a reason why comics suck sometimes. Because when you get one of those really great comic books and you read issue 1 and you're like, oh, yeah, you can't end like this. You can't do this to me. I don't want to wait another month for another comic book to read because you're doing such a good job." Yeah, agreed. Um, Wookiee Supremacy says, "Aren't the yak faces called boffins? Boffins? I don't know. The yak face. I'm trying to think of which ones the yak faces are." Marquise Roberts says Gal Gadot can get it. Oh man, that's funny. The sentence says those are some ugly ass aliens. Yeah, man. That's funny. The alien. I'm guessing you guys are talking about the ones that look like. I thought it looked like a pit bull. Like maybe not like Pitbull. Not like the rapper Pitbull, but like a Pitbull. The sentence says, "Right, Second Street Marvel. She's worthy of the dong." Aggressively says thoughts and prayers to the Boffin community. Wookiee Supremacy says I'd crawl across broken glass to last. Wookiee, oh, Wookiee, oh my god, dude. Oh, you're killing me. Crawl across broken glass to the last D that smashed Gal Gadot. Oh man. That's too good. Oh man. Oh, that's good. So I guess that means that you would eat the corn out of her. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the peanuts. I don't know. I'm a nut man, so. Oh man. That's funny. Darth Wacko says Gina is fine. Yeah, she is. She really is. She really is. And she's not like an actress. She's not a great actress or anything. But hopefully she grows, builds her acting chops. I mean, she seems to be pretty good so far. I mean, I think the first thing I seen her in might have been her first role was in Deadpool. And obviously she did pretty good for what she is there. Again, a great director will play to an actor's strengths when they're making a movie, especially if they know that it's somebody who don't have like a whole lot of talent in their wheelhouse quite yet. I mean, all the chops there. So yeah, I thought she did very good, very good. Maverick Pilgrim says good morning. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, Snowdub is here. Says Jenner check. All right. If you guys haven't checked out Snowdub Music and Entertainment, go check out his channel, and you guys go check out each other's channels. I'm sure all of you guys, most of the people here have channels and are content creators. Go check them out. Snowdub is one of my favorites, and Snowdub will be my special guest on the Trailer Park Live next Friday. And Marquise Roberts says aggressively relaxing, got that found footage. Awesome. Haven't watched episode 4 yet. No spoilers. Yeah, Snowdub, I'm not going to spoil it for you or anything. I'm not going to spoil it. I think I'm pretty much done with talking about The Mandalorian anyway. Good episode. Go watch it as soon as you get a chance, man. Good stuff. What's up, 19K Fox? How you doing? Wookiee Supremacy says the best thing for The Mandalorian is keeping Ryan Johnson the hell away from it. Yeah, and I don't think they're going to, I seen, there was some statement out there saying he's going to direct an episode or something in season 2 or whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Wookiee Supremacy says, I love Pale Rider. Yeah, man, Pale Rider's a good one. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's definitely a good episode. Definitely a good episode. Or a good movie, I mean. The Senate says, I believe Clint Eastwood is under the helmet that is now canon. Right? Vlad Wright says, haven't seen and never will, but I saw people already complain about the lack of women. I'm guessing you're talking about about the Mandalorian. Yeah, there's people on Twitter there's always constantly people on Twitter and YouTube looking for attention. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, then people are going to be more than satisfied this episode. There's more than enough women in it. Like I said, we got Gina Carano in it. We also got oh man, they are going to be upset because there is actually another woman in it too, and she's a bartender, like waitress. So she's serving men. So I know, cringeworthy, right? Yeah, I don't know, but there's definitely plenty of women in this one. Plenty of women. Maybe Pocahontas even. Maybe we get some Pocahontas in this one. The Senate says, you said no spoilers, but someone's gets shot in the episode. Yes, somebody definitely gets shot. Aggressively relaxing says, I love the end of the good, the bad, and the ugly when Clint Eastwood enviously says to himself, I need a jetpack. Oh man, funny dude. Oh man, absolutely hilarious. Ooh, and I realized there was something I forgot to do here. Let me get on here, and I've got to. There we go. Bam, bam. Okay, Pale Rider, the albino call girl. Okay, where we at here? Where we at? Maverick Pilgrim says, "Oh man, I was hoping to talk on this chapter. We'll probably do that on Sunday, Maverick Pilgrim. But yeah, I would believe me. I would love to talk about it and spoil it a little more. But there are people here who haven't seen it yet, so I'm gonna be respectful to them and give them a chance to see it. Because sometimes I feel that's a little unfair. Like you get into a live stream. Most people when they do the reviews, they don't do spoilers unless they say it is or they say no spoilers or whatnot. It is kind of unfair. Like I get it. Like everybody wants to be the first person to have their video uploaded. Like, ooh, I'm the first person to get my review up of The Mandalorian. Yeah, cool, great, man. But not everybody has watched it yet. So sometimes I feel, is it that important? And sometimes, yes, it is. Okay. Honestly, if you see some of my comic book reviews going up Tuesday night, it's because some of them are like, okay, these are big comic books. Everybody's gonna be talking about them. So I got to try to get my review of it up. I got to be the first one. And I don't know. It's all good. It's all good. You do what you got to do to bring attention to your channel, and we're gonna get into that here in just a minute about some of the things that some other people do to bring attention to their channel. And I just talked about this yesterday as well, and we'll get into that in just a minute. Black Angus reviews. What's up, my brother? He says, we take bitch levels back home. Oh no, Black Angus knows where Black Angus knows where I'm headed to here in a few minutes. Maverick Pilgrim says this is a huge nod back to the original origins of Star Wars in general. Itching to talk about it. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like that little conversation that the Mandalorian and Gina Carano's character had, just great stuff. Like I probably sat there and rewound and listened to that little conversation probably about 4, 5, 6, 10 times. I did. Wookie says Eastwood's westerns are awesome. Yes, they are. Immortal Biggie Shack. Good morning to you, sir. How you doing? Seen you out live streaming earlier, out doing some comic book shopping. I'm guessing. Aggressively relaxing says the main inspiration for this show is definitely the Christmas special. Oh, that's funny. Maverick Pilgrim says both and look like short dogs. Yeah, yeah. Black Angus says, I'm going to send Council of Incels Exile an invite to join the chat. Yeah, go ahead, man. It's all good. It's all good. The Senate says, didn't get notification. Need to check the channel again, Angus. Um, let's see. Marquise Roberts says, eat the corn. Yeah. Oh man, I'm telling you what Wookie said. Wookie's comment earlier, man, had me just dying, man. That's like, I'm like, oh dude, that no. Oh, it says she would be great in porn, just saying. Oh man, you guys are funny. Aggressively relaxing says, I want to see a planet of people that look like the rapper Pitbull now. Kids, women, fat pit bulls, tall pit bulls. Well, hey, why not? We got Baby Yoda, right? Misa love porn, says Black Angus Reviews. Oh man, you guys are funny. You guys are funny. Black English Review says, serving men like God intended. I'm not a believer, but I hear you, man. I hear you. Maverick Pilgrim says, this chapter was directed by Dallas B. Howard. Yes. Yes, yeah. And she's great. I mean, you know, and I like Bryce Dallas Howard. She's a very beautiful young lady as well. And you know what? I know a lot of people probably get her mixed up with, God, man, why all of a sudden did I forget her name? I was going to call her Bryce Dallas Howard. No, the other redheaded actress who's, man, she's absolutely great too. Yeah, from Dark Phoenix and, yeah. You know exactly who I'm talking about. She looks just like her, but obviously Jessica Chastain. But I love Jessica Chastain as well, too. But Bryce Dallas Howard, too. But you know what? It's because they're redheads, man. You gotta love gingers. Who doesn't love gingers? Oh, don't even get... I just need to move on. I don't even want to get started on gingers. That's not what we're here for. That's not what we're here for. Okay. Wookie Supremacy says, aren't we watching someone on YouTube that wants attention? Me? No. Well, I don't beg for attention. Do I want attention? Yeah, sure. I mean, in a sense, but I don't beg for attention in the way that some of these people we're going to get into and talk about here in a minute like to do it. Darth Wacko says, Anita Sarkeesian is the one complaining about not enough. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, some of them weirdos out there, man. Some of them weirdos out there, like she's going to be happy in this episode, but she's not going to be happy about that bartender. This episode, Amanda, was great for real. That first scene in the market when he bought the diaper genie was so intense. Aggressively, you're too funny. Wookiee Supremacy says, I can't watch most of my Star Wars content channels because I haven't seen episode 4 yet. Yeah, and like I said, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil it here. I'll let you know if we're gonna go into spoilers or anything. Snowdub says, I'm reviewing 2 episodes at a time. I reviews 1 and 2. Now I need to watch 4 so I can do my next one. Yeah, definitely. The sentence says B level needs more than his backhole taken. Let's see. We're all adults here, fam. Spoil away. Nah, I'm not really all about spoiling that for any of my viewers who don't want me to spoil that for them. There's a time and a place for that, and like I said, I don't like that neither. You got to try to avoid spoilers and everything out there. We'll talk more about that on Sunday for sure. On Sunday, we're going to talk about some spoilers. Okay, we're gonna. I guess at that point it won't be spoilers because we'll all have seen it, right? Otherwise, you're not a Star Wars fan. You can't be a fan of Star Wars. You know what? You're right. You're right. You're not a fan of Star Wars if you haven't seen episode 4 yet, and we're just going to talk about it right now. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. Darth Wacko says, Holly Weird hates gingers. I know, and that's such a shame, too, because I love them. Even my wife loves gingers. Come on, man. Yeah. The sentence says, ginger haters are the ones with no souls. Oh, yeah. I'll second that. Vlad Wright says, Second Street Marvel, if I say not enough women in my bedroom and I'm SJW now, I don't know, man. Oh, Black Angus Review says, wow, calves? Quit appropriating my culture for your dialogue type, my guy. Dang puppet phobes need a Jenner check. If they don't want spoilers, they can stay away or mute. Yeah, no, it's all good, man. Dylan's comic book rants. What's up, my brother? How you doing this morning? Great stream last night, Dylan. Very good stream, man. You were holding. What were you on for? Almost 3 hours last night. It seems like you were on for quite a while, man. Good job too, and you had quite an audience, man. It was awesome, dude. That was pretty great stuff, man. And I was hanging out most of the time. I went and hung out with Perry for a little while, and came back. You were still streaming. Like, hell yeah, dude. Good stuff, man. Keep that up. Keep that up, dude. You've got a small channel. You don't have a whole lot of subscribers, but you've got an engaged audience, and that's good. That's very good. Okay. Now, maybe we should get on here and talk and see what else these children have to say, because I'm sure they're out. We got 21 notifications here. Oh, no, no, no. Let's see. Do I have to read all these things? Um, yeah. Yeah. So, okay, we're going to talk about something I talked about yesterday, something I constantly have to talk about here just cuz people have to be children, Just have to be children. Um okay, so I got yesterday you guys probably, if you guys were here yesterday, you caught me talking about just about like Mad Max, the Gray Order, and just all of these different kinds of things, fandoms in general, right? Um now obviously, we got some people who take issue. Obviously a lot of people are they do what they can to get attention, get attention to their channels. Some people out there, they got to go constantly and throw shade at others or whatnot, like. And here's the thing, guys, and I've talked about this a lot. um You guys know I love Mad Max. Mad Max movie talks were Mad Max the Mandalorian. One of my favorite channels, dude. I love the guy. He's great. He got good content. The one thing I've talked about largely overall though is he's got this thing going on, the Fandom Alliance Group Syndicate. Yeah, I know. They're a bunch of Fandom Alliance Group syndicators. And anyway, I mean, all good. Everybody wants to start a fan movement, but the thing is you don't get attention by being an asshole and acting like a child. Okay, and I'm not saying that he's being an asshole. I haven't actually seen Max be an asshole at all. I'm not saying that, but we can see that there are other people out there who like to be. The one thing I've talked about though is to get people's attention, you don't have to constantly talk about them. You don't have to constantly talk shit. And here's the thing: is Mad Max is on Twitter constantly trying to tag the Den of Nerds and all this stuff about the Gray Order and all this. And the thing is being a child, out there like, hey, hey, give me your attention, give me your attention, give me your attention. You know what? You ignore that. Okay. If you're wondering why, maybe Josh and the Den of Nerds or even the Great Council don't wanna talk with you and have you on the show or anything, because it's pointless. The thing is the Grey Order is about getting the fans, having conversations, and bringing fans together from opposing views to have conversations. And you're just wanting to, some people out there, and I'm not talking about just Max here, want to just get together and fight against the fandom menace. Okay, it's not about fighting the fandom menace. That's not what it's about. The people in the fandom menace are fans of Star Wars too, just like you. You know, it's not about it's not you're either with us or against us kind of thing. It's not what it's about. It's about rebuilding the fandom, bringing fans back together to talk about the things we love. Okay, talking trash about other YouTubers, talking trash just to get their attention, acting like a fucking kid. It's just not the way you do it. Trust me, I know this stuff. Okay, that's not how you do it. You know what you do is you do your own thing. You start your own movement, or you don't even have to start your own movement. You can be part of the movement, but you don't have to act like a child every single time that you turn around. You have to be like, "Hey, give me your attention, give me your attention." That's Nobody wants that. You're acting like a child, and you know what? You make me want to ignore you. You make me want to ignore you. And this isn't Max I'm talking about here. This is the Council in Exile. The Council in Exile. They're on here, somewhat trying to white knight for Mad Max against the Den of Nerds, because Josh actually took and responded to Max. And then all of a sudden, this council in exile guy, who is obviously, I'm guessing this guy is probably just B-level Star Wars, starts taking offense to everything that I'm saying on Twitter. And it's just, and I mentioned, he's like, oh, like, he's telling me to go check out Mad Max's stream tonight, where they're going to talk. B Level and Mad Max are going to talk. And he's like, go there and see what we're going to talk about. I'm like, well, I mean, all I really see on B Level's channel is a bunch of videos or thumbnails that are just talking shit about Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers and some Star Wars. There's a couple minutes, but largely all I see is you throwing shade and talking shit about other content creators. What do I need to watch? I have no reason, no motivation to watch your channel. Okay. And I've even been critical of this of Max, and I've actually had him here on the show and even talked to him about this. Is just make some other content, dude. Like, why concentrate on these people if you don't agree with them and you don't like them? If you want to have a conversation with them, act like an adult and say, "Hey, man, could you come on my show?" And when you message them and say, "Hey, man, you want to come on my show and talk about talk about this stuff?" People are busy with their own channels and their own life. You just message them once and they'll answer, or they won't. You don't have to sit there constantly fucking adding them on Twitter at every single 5 minutes, acting like a child to get their attention. Because chances are they're gonna do just like Josh did and say, you know what? Why would I talk to you? You're acting like a child here. You're acting like a child, so why do I even want to talk to you? And obviously you're sitting here wanting to be part of, the Gray Order, but then you're just talking shit about the Gray Order, and, you're talking like, Josh at the Den of Nerds, he's actually growing a brand. He's not just building a personal YouTube channel and a platform to talk shit about Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers or the Fandom Menace. That's not what he's doing. He actually has a brand that he's building, so probably just doesn't have the time to sit there and, mess with somebody who's like, oh, hey, can you give me some attention? Can you give me some attention? Can you give me some... No. You got your own channel. Go do your own thing if that's what you want to do. Like, things take time. Some of us have lives. We have other things that we do. Some of us, like Josh the Den of Nerds, is trying to build a brand, not just like bring every Tom, Dick, and Harry onto his channel that wants to talk shit about the Fandom Menace and Geeks and Gamers or Jeremy and Star, just because they don't like Star Wars. What's been going on with the sequel trilogy? It's just not, and that's not even the point of the Gray Order. That's not even the point of the Gray Order. But that's what you're trying to. What you're trying to do is you're trying to push your values and the way you want to approach things on the Gray Order, and that's just not how it works. We're here to have conversations with people, to talk with people, but not people just sitting there that are, like, hey, we want your attention, we want your attention. Chances are they're probably more willing to talk to somebody from the Fandom Menace who's just sitting there like, hey, man, I'm willing to come on your channel and talk, than somebody who actually probably somewhat agrees with them that's like, hey, give me your attention, give me your attention. That's just not how it works. And Mr. Council in Exile, whoever you are on Twitter, it's the same thing. Like, I'm sitting here mentioning things here on Twitter, and I mention my boy Lord Callus, and then you start talking trash about Lord Callus and his content when I never even said anything bad about B Level's content or anything about Mad Max's content. All I said was, well, if I want to know about Star Wars lore, just go to Lord Callus. I have no. You can go to Lord Callus's videos and see that he talks about Star Wars and the Star Wars lore and that kinds of stuff. You don't see a million thumbnails talking about the Fandom Menace or Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. But when I go to B Level's channel and I check out their thumbnails, it seems to be that's a majority of their content is talking about Geeks and Gamers and the Fandom Menace and all that kinds of stuff. I don't care. Why do I want to watch your channel, B Level? You know what I mean? Like, you can criticize Lord Callus all you want, but he actually loves Star Wars and makes content about Star Wars, not about fandoms, not about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, not about the Fandom Menace. That's just not what he does. He makes content about Star Wars, and maybe you and even Max, and I've said this to Max too, even when he was here on my show, is start there. Why don't you start with being a fan first? Worrying about talking about Star Wars and being a fan of Star Wars, and stop worrying about talking shit about other content creators. Just start there. Start there, and I'm willing to bet if you start with just talking about Star Wars and your love of Star Wars and even being critical of Star Wars, start there and not talking shit about other content creators, I could almost guarantee you that Josh from the Den of Nerds would probably be like, "Oh, hey, like this guy seems all right, let's have a conversation with him." But like, no, you're just waving your hands in front of somebody's face saying, "Hey, give me some attention, give me some attention, give me some attention." Nobody wants to pay attention to that. Nobody wants to pay attention to the child. We all have, well, maybe not all of us, but plenty of us have kids. We're around kids. We see how kids act, and you're acting like a little kid. And just because you think I'm being critical, of like right here, I could show you. I don't have all these things pulled up here on my computer where I could show you, but it says, I just said. this guy, he's trying to be insulting. This guy, Council in Exile, says, "Do you even understand the context of the conversation? It's about B-Level addressing with Max his concerns about the direction of the Alliance. Also, have you ever watched B-Level's content? Do you even know how many streams Star Wars lore he's done?" No, I don't know how many streams, because I go to the channel and I check the videos, and all I see is Fandom Menace, Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy, yeah, just like when I go to Max's channel. Fucking get a life, bro. Talk about Star Wars. Why are you worried about what these other content creators are doing? If you don't, you're wondering why the Grey Order isn't talking to you or anything like that, or the Grey Council in this case also isn't talking to you, is because all your content is just talking shit about other content creators. What's the point in having that conversation? You just want to disparage other content creators. It doesn't matter whether you agree with them or not. We're not all here to agree with each other, but all you want to do is talk shit about other content creators, and it's pointless. If you want to come on to, if you probably I'm guessing if you want to come onto their show, onto their streams, onto their videos, you gotta talk about Star Wars, not talking shit about other content creators. That's where it starts off at. That's where it starts off at. I don't care what you think about Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. I don't care what you think about the Den of Nerds. I don't care what you think about the Grey Order and the fact that, oh no, they sell merchandise. They're making shirts. People are trying to build brands, not just flap their gums about other content creators on YouTube. That's not the concern. The concern is getting fans, people who actually want to love content, who want to love Star Wars, and bringing them together to talk about Star Wars, not other content creators. And Mr. Smart Guy here from Council of the Exile says tells me that I don't even have a lot of Star Wars content on my channel. What am I doing talking about? Like, really? I don't. Yeah, that's probably because I'm not a Star Wars channel. I guess my name didn't give that away. Second Street Marvel, not Second Street Star Wars. Not and Marvel, and I've talked about this before, Marvel doesn't even necessarily refer to necessarily Marvel Comics. Marvel is a word in and of itself. Marvel doesn't just mean Marvel Incorporated or Marvel Comics or anything like that. It's Marvel Studios. It doesn't mean that. Now, sure, that's kind of where I got the name from. I took it and ran with it, but that's not what it's about. Marvel is a word. You marvel at something. Ooh, he's a marvel of modern times. You know, and that's the thing is like uh yeah, and that's the thing is like this guy, whoever this is, this Council in Exile is taking offense to things that I didn't even say. Like, he's taking and cherry picking, saying that I'm talking trash about so and so and so and so. Like, that's I didn't, learn to read, guys. People, and that's the thing is, people get so caught in their emotions these days. They read one thing like, oh, you're talking trash about. No, I haven't talked shit about Max at all. I wouldn't talk shit about Max. I like Max. Now, would I say that he needs to concentrate on making content and stop worrying about geeks and gamers? Stop worrying about the fandom menace? That's what I would say. The fandom menace isn't my focus. My focus since I started, and since I ever even started talking about any of this stuff, I've talked a lot about, and that's why when Josh came up with the idea of the Gray Order, I was totally on board, because I was sitting there like, what he's doing is something I've been doing the whole time anyway, since before he even had the idea or maybe not since before he had the idea. I don't know about that, but ever since before the Gray Order was a thing, that's exactly what I was doing on here. I've been talking about being fans and trying to just be fans and not worry about being assholes to each other. You can come on my channel. That's the one thing I've been talking about is, we don't have to be all a lot of assholes. Now, largely the fandom menace has, the people who associate with them, they have a bad rap because they are fandom menace. So people think, oh, they're just a bunch of assholes. People get pigeonholed, yes. Okay. And that's the thing. And now you're doing the same thing, like the opposite of what the Phantom Menace does, and you are doing the same thing essentially, is pigeonholing yourself to people in the Phantom Menace saying, "Oh, this guy's just an asshole fucking hater." Okay? And that's what you're doing. Okay? You're doing the same thing they are, and people are going to have the same assumptions about you that they have about the Phantom Menace. Don't worry about them. Don't worry about somebody else's fandom. Worry about being fans. Don't worry about somebody else's content. Don't worry about what somebody else is saying, in that content. Oh, they're talking trash about it. No, man. The thing is, most of us don't care about you. We care about this about Star Wars, about this fandom, about bringing fans together so we can actually all just have open conversations and talk without being at each other's throats. Because I'll tell you, for one, me here on this channel, I'm sick of that shit. I've been sick of it since I ever started talking about this stuff a long time ago, before the Gray Order was even a thing, especially before it was even out there and people knew what it was. Okay. So don't give me none of that shit, dude. Mr. Council in Exile, who is obviously probably just the front for the Twitter page for B-level Star Wars. And again, I'm not talking shit about B-level Star Wars neither. I haven't watched their content to be able to talk shit. All I can do is go to their page and see exactly what they're talking about, and every single one of their thumbnails is about Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers and the Fandom Menace or the Grey Order. A couple about the Mandalorian. But I mean, that's the thing, is you got to think about your content and what you're saying. Why are you focused on somebody else's fandom in that capacity? Now, I understand being focused. I mean, that's exactly what I'm talking about here, is other people's fandoms. But why are you focused on it in that capacity? It's irrelevant. What we need to be talking about is being fans of Star Wars and what we like about Star Wars, and being critical of what we don't like. That's it. But you want to be critical of other people. You want to be critical of the people, not the franchise here. Not what we're talking about. Not, you're talking about the people. That's not how you bring the fandoms back together, by talking about the people. You bring the fandoms back together by talking about what exactly that, the fandom, being a fan of Star Wars, being a fan of this, being a fan of that. Not by talking shit about the other content creators out there. Okay? And and that's largely what it comes down to. And Yeah, and that's largely what it comes down to. But obviously, like, you're getting caught up in your feelings and being offended because I said that I don't watch B level. I watch Lord Callus, and you had to take a shot at Lord Callus for whatever reason. Lord Callus, he knows his shit, and he actually loves Star Wars. And you go to his channel and you scroll through his thumbnails. You know what you're gonna find all of them talking about? His love of Star Wars. You won't find one video on there where he's talking shit about B-level Star Wars, about Mad Max. You won't find one fucking video where he's talking about Geeks and Gamers or the Fandom Menace or even Raylo shippers. He doesn't do that. You know what he talks about on his channel? Star Wars. Because that's what he loves. He's not worried about what other people's fandoms are. He's not worried about whether you're part of the Fandom Menace or you're part of this or you're part... That's not his concern. That shouldn't be your concern. Now, if you're so concerned about that, go right ahead. Make all the videos you want about that. But be concerned about, if that's what you're concerned about, have conversations with fans. Fans, okay? You're not, like, you say you love this Star Wars shit, but yet you don't talk about Star Wars that much. You talk more about how much somebody else likes Star Wars and how they like Star Wars or how they criticize Star Wars, as opposed to concentrating on your fandom or somebody else's fandom in that sense, having the conversation to bring people back together. All you're doing is talking shit about other people. And I'm not wrong here. It's not an opinion. That's what you're doing. So why does anybody want to associate with you? You know, it's probably why your channel, you know, you're not growing very fast. It's probably why you are where you're at. And I'm not saying that that means you suck or anything like that, but you're concentrating on the wrong thing. You're concentrating on the wrong thing. You think I got, you think I built my channel here by talking shit about anybody? No. Now, do I talk shit? Yeah, I talk shit. I never have to aim it at somebody specific because we know when I say something, it applies to a lot of people. People who agree with me and probably people who disagree with me too. I'm open to that. I'm not one of the ones that's going to be offended and be like, "Oh, well, you said Lord Callus has good content and he just sucks. You need to watch ours cuz we know what we're talking about." No. No. Lord Callus makes great Star Wars content. He talks about Star Wars. He doesn't talk about other people's fandoms. Why is other people's fandoms your concern? You know what I mean? The thing is if it is like I said, we're trying to put the fandom back together. We're trying to bring everybody back together to have conversations. We're not worried about their fandom, how they love or hate something. We're talking about the fans and what we like and what we dislike about this certain thing, about whether it's Star Wars or Marvel and stuff like that. Not worried about what other people how they fan. Why are you so worried about how people fan? You know? And again, that's why you are where you're at because you're just concentrated on somebody else's content, not your own. Not your own. And I think, obviously, I mean, you're very intelligent when you say that. Oh, you don't even have hardly any Star Wars content on your channel, man. Yeah, no, of course I don't, because I'm not a Star Wars channel, and assholes like you make me not want to talk about Star Wars, but I do anyway because I don't let assholes ruin my day or just kind of dictate what I do and don't talk about. But I am talking about this because what you're trying to do, what you're trying to be a part of. You want to talk about Star Wars and you want to be bring fans back together, but all you're doing is talking shit about other content creators who are fans. And that's the thing is you just don't get it. And that's the thing I've been critical of Max about too. Is you're concentrated on Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers. Why do you care? Why don't you try caring and making content about stuff that you like rather than things that you don't like? Or not even things, but people you don't like and don't agree with their opinion. That's pointless. That's pointless. Worry about the fans. Worry about the fandom. Worry about the thing you actually love, not other content creators. And I know you're probably, if you're watching this, you're probably thinking like, oh, like you're talking trash about other. I'm not talking trash about anybody. I'm trying to say what you need to concentrate on. I'm not, like I said, I haven't once said B level sucks or anything like that. I'm not disparaging them. I'm not saying anything bad. I haven't talked bad about Max. All I've said is if you're worried about it, if you're that worried about it, concentrate on that. Not talking trash about other people who have different opinions than you about being a fan or about these certain things that we're fans of. That's not the conversation to have. And when it's time to have that conversation is on a live stream with that other person. With that other person. But you being an asshole makes that other person not want to talk to you. It makes people not want to talk to you because like, well, all you want to do is talk shit. What's the point of me coming on a live stream and talking with you about it? You know what I mean? Like, what's seems pretty pointless. All you want to do is just get me on and just talk shit. I mean, do you want to discuss being a fan and what we enjoy, or do you just want to talk shit about me and have me on your show so we can sit there and just beat each other up and be assholes to each other? You know, um, Josh, over at the Den of Nerds, and even the Great Council, here on YouTube, they have no reason to bring Max or the Council in Exile or B level Star Wars onto their channels because they're not wanting to talk about Star Wars. They're wanting to talk about other content creators. That's not what the Grey Order is all about. Okay? That's not what it's all about. The Grey Order is pretty much, like I said, about what I've been doing here on this channel the whole time. You can come to my channel and you'll see people, okay, maybe there's no Raylo shippers here or anything like that, but you will see that, you can see that I talk about that. I talk about the fandoms not about people, not about the people. Because I know how to bring people together. I know how to do all that stuff. You know, in one of these tweets here, the Council in Exile is talking about, right here says the Council in Exile says, at the Den of Nerds, gotta be real with you. Max shouldn't even have to reach out to you. As a leader of a movement, that should be your job. Not trying to be harsh, but that's the truth. Max is actually putting in the hard work every day to build his alliance, not making cheap t-shirts. Okay, the Council in Exile. Bro, just don't even talk about leadership. You don't know what it's about. I'll tell you that just by your statement right there. I can tell that you don't know what it's about. Leadership isn't about taking the person who don't want to be part of the Gray Order and bringing them on board. That person don't want to be part of it. Why am I going to waste my time here? I'm going to take my time and spend it where it's going to pay more for me to spend it with people who actually want to come together, come in and have conversations and be fans. If you don't want to be part of it, why would I talk to you? I will wait until I've got more people on board who want to actually be part of this fan movement. And then once I've got all of those people, once we've got enough people here who actually want to be part of the movement, then I will worry about talking to you. But until then, it's a waste of my time to talk to you because you don't. All you want to do is be a hater of other people and their content and worried about how they are fans of stuff. Okay, we're worried about bringing fans in who want to talk amongst other fans and talk about what we love and what we don't love about this thing, not about how you love it, not about how you enjoy it. That's the difference. That's what you don't understand. That's what you don't understand about leadership. So don't be tweeting at me with, and let alone the Den of Nerds, Josh at the Den of Nerds talking about leadership when you obviously don't know anything about it. If you knew something about it, you would be in the leadership position. You would be there to be able to do that. But you don't. You don't. And that's not saying that you're not a leader, and that's not saying that you're a follower. That's just saying that you need to develop those skills, those leadership skills, those teamwork skills, those team building skills, things that you obviously know nothing about, because all you want to do is talk shit about other content creators and about how they enjoy something. That's not how you do it. So I don't even know why, and of course it's because you don't know. I don't know why you would be worried about what Josh and the Den of Nerds is doing. If you don't want to be part of the movement, what are you doing talking about it? You know what I mean? That's all you want. That's it. That's all you want. Do that amongst yourselves. Do that. You can fight like little assholes and be assholes to everybody by yourselves. You don't need the Grey Council to do that or the Grey Order to do that. You just don't. Just make your content. I mean, that's not what any of these things are for. And that's not even what the Fandom Menace is for. The Fandom Menace isn't even about being assholes to other people. That's not even what they're about. You know what I mean? They don't, even most of the people on the Fandom Menace, they don't focus on other people in their content now. I know some of them do. Some of them have. You can go watch how much Odin's movie blog has been on Max's videos talking shit to him, trying to entice him into some sort of, stupid YouTube battle and shit like that. Irrelevant shit, children being children, let's call it what it is. Children being children, That's what it is. That's what you're being. That's what you're doing. And that's why nobody wants to have nothing to do with you. That's why Josh isn't bringing you onto his channel, Max. That's why Josh isn't bringing you onto his channel, Council in Exile or B-Level Star Wars or whoever, because you're acting like children. He's got a brand he's building, a brand, not just his personal YouTube channel where he just flexes his own feelings about stuff. He's actually trying to build a brand and be a multimedia company like that, yeah. Not just like some asshole like me or you who's just building his own channel and saying, hey, here's how I feel, guys. No, he's building an actual brand. You don't have time for the childish little fucking antics that you want to do. You just don't have time for it. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And then you're sitting here on Twitter, you keep responding with all this stuff where you're obviously butthurt about something. Like I was talking shit about you, and I haven't. I still haven't even talked shit about you. I don't watch B-Level's content to talk shit about. And even if I did, I still wouldn't talk shit about it. The only thing I would say is like, hey man, same thing I'm saying about Max is just change your approach. Just change your approach. That's all you got to do. And that's the same thing I've talked about constantly here on my channel is your approach and how you do things. Because I know about leadership. I know about teamwork. I know about team building. That's what I did for fucking years. I know what it takes. And I can't blame these people for not wanting to reach out to you, not wanting to touch base with you. I can't blame them. Because if it was me, except for I'm a fucking madman myself, so I would do it. Only to bring you on and maybe show how foolish you are, or maybe highlight how unfoolish you aren't, but you present yourself wrong. People don't understand that presentation is a lot. You know what I mean? You go like, perfect thing is go to a restaurant, the way things come out on your plate, the way it's presented. If it's just slapped on there, you see it. Even a great meal with the wrong presentation, you look and you're like, yeah, that looks all right. But you could take a shitty meal and put it on a plate and present it in the right way, and somebody's going to look at it and be like, ooh, damn, that looks good right there. It's presentation. Your presentation is just bad. It's not good. Nobody wants to see and be part of that. I mean, can you blame them? Damn it, I'm out of coffee now. But I mean, and that's the thing is, you can be butthurt and you can come out, come on Twitter and say all these things and it gets you nowhere. I mean, all you're doing is just fighting with people over nonsense. Concentrate on what you love. I've talked about that multiple times here. I mean, like, sometimes I just get tired of talking this shit, but you can see that I'm heated and passionate about it because that's what burns inside of me. That's what I do. You know what I mean? That's it. I love these things. I love the people in it. You know what I mean? I can love you too, B-level Star Wars. I can love you too, Council in Exile. You just gotta not be an asshole. Yeah, and that's the thing is you don't see that you're being an asshole just like all those people, just like Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers and all these other people out there that you feel are just a bunch of assholes. You're doing the same thing. Look in the fucking mirror. Look in the mirror. That's all you gotta do. You're doing nothing no different than they are. And then you wonder why people don't want to talk to you, why they don't want to associate with you. It's because of that. But you do what you want to do. You do your own thing. I would say tone it down, change your approach and all that stuff. But you're obviously going to do your own thing anyway. And hey, as far as you know, who the fuck am I, man? What do I know? I have no credibility with you. I can tell you there's a lot of people I do have credibility with, though. I can tell you I have a proven track record of doing the exact things I'm talking about. I have a proven track record of building teams and getting and promoting teamwork and doing that and leading those teams to victories. That's what I did for years. Not here on YouTube, but in a different capacity. But don't think that leadership is different from working in a retail environment to being on YouTube, to being on Twitter, anything like that. Leadership is leadership no matter what you're doing, but you're not doing it. And I'm not saying that you're not a leader. What I'm saying is that your approach is wrong. Don't think that I just became a leader overnight. Like I just snapped my fingers and said, hey, I want to be a leader. And I snapped my fingers and that's it. No, it took time to develop that. Yeah, I used to act immature just like you guys are. I used to do the same shit. I used to sit there like, oh, hey, give me attention. I know what's right. Even though I knew what the fuck I was talking about, my approach was wrong. Once I changed my approach, once I got that maturity about me, it was easy. Because the thing is during that whole time, I wasn't I was building the people, the amount of people who had my back, the people who wanted to follow me, because I wasn't being an immature little asshole. They knew I knew what I was talking about. They wanted to follow me. They knew I knew what was right and wrong, what we needed to do. They knew I knew the mission, if you will. They knew I knew that. I was a leader before I was even in the leadership role. Leaders don't need leadership roles to be leaders. You just lead. That's what you do. You just lead and people follow. You don't have to force people like, hey, I'm right. Come listen to me and follow me. I know what's right. Don't listen to those other people. That's not what you do. That's not what you do. But that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing, and that's not the approach that you take. That's just not what you do. So don't wonder why these other people aren't wanting to associate with you, aren't wanting to, do a collaboration with you, or bring you on the channel, or have a discussion with you. Don't return your email. Oh, I just emailed you 5 minutes ago. Why didn't you answer me? Why don't you answer me? Why don't you answer me? At. Dude, you're begging for attention, and you know what? Sometimes when you beg for attention, you're not gonna get the side of the stick that you want. You don't have to constantly beg for attention. Just, when you email somebody, just send them an email and just wait for the response. If they don't respond to you, they just don't respond to you. Believe me, I sent a Twitter message out to at chat on Twitter saying, "Hey man, I'd love for you to come onto my show and talk about stuff." Like, I even told him, like, I'm sure you probably know, I roll with a lot of people in the Fandom Menace. I talk to a lot of them and stuff like that. I'm not a part of the Fandom Menace, but I'm friends with a lot of these people. I don't have those, like, I just have alliances. I'm not that. That's not what I do. I have a different approach to everything. And I basically told him, like, hey, I would love it if you would come onto my show and just talk. Let's have a conversation just about Star Wars and about just being a fan and stuff like that. And you know what? He didn't respond to me. And he still hasn't responded to me. And it's been weeks. It's been, you know what? Let's find out how long it's been. Let's find out how long it's been. Let me see. It was on 11/8/19. 11/8, so, or 11/18. No, 11/8. So it was on November 8th. You know what? And we're getting ready to be in December, and he still hasn't at chat still hasn't responded to me. Maybe I better get on Twitter and just start adding him every 5 minutes until he responds and at least tells me to fuck off. I need a response. I need his attention. No. I'm not that worried about it. He wants to come onto the, maybe I'll hit him up again, here in another few days and be like, hey man, just wondering if, you got my last, message, if you want to come on the show and just talk about stuff. I'm not going to add him every 5 minutes. I'm not trying to use that person to try to bring attention to myself. And just a geek wanting to have a conversation with another geek. That's it. Nothing major. I don't have to sit there and, get in their face and beg for attention. You know what I mean? That's just not what you do, man. You just don't understand. You just don't understand it. I don't know. Like, there's some sort of disconnect in your head that thinks that you just go around getting in somebody's face and begging for attention and that you'll get it, or that you'll get the attention that you want. Chances are you might get the attention that you deserve, not the attention that you want. I don't know. I could be wrong there. I could be wrong. But let's see. Let's see what everybody's got to say here, man. I've been flapping my gums about this stuff long enough, just because it's ridiculous. I'm sure if you guys are here on my channel, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is nonsense, dude. Just this absolute nonsense. And like I said, I wish I could say I get tired of talking about it, but I love talking about it because what I'm trying to do is get you to realize but again, that's something that I do. That's something I've done for a long time. Is get people to realize, one of these things I've always said is, to get through to somebody, it's not even whether they disagree with you or anything. A lot of people, it only takes a certain combination of words, and can you figure out that certain combination of words that is kind of like the slap in the face or the smelling salts to get people to wake up and be like, oh, like, hey, like, they're right, like, they're right. I need to change this up. I need to change my approach a little bit here. That's all it takes. It just takes the right combination of words to get somebody on board, to get somebody to agree with you, to get them to disagree with you, and you just leave it at that. This whole agreeing to disagree bullshit out there that people do, you have no fucking spine. It's okay to disagree. What do you have a problem with disagreeing with people for? That's millennium shit, man. But anyway, I mean, that's what it is. That's just how it is. And you don't have to take my word for it neither. I mean, hell, I'm just talking to you guys. It's not like B-level Star Wars is going to come here onto my channel and be like, oh, and listen to what I'm saying. I care less whether B-level comes here and subscribes and watches the video or anything like that. But to be honest with you, they'd be smart too. They might learn something. You can learn a lot from a dummy. So let's see, where are we at here? I see a lot of ats here in the chat. Let's go ahead and get those. Um, the sentence says Callus is the Star Wars YouTuber. He does Star Wars. Yes, definitely, definitely. Snowdub Music and Entertainment says, know who you are and bring to your channel what makes you unique and what you are passionate about. That's why I bring the funny. Exactly. Hashtag Jenner check. Yeah. Aggressively relaxed says we can argue Disney later, Wookie. What's important now is a force a forced blasphemy. Sounds like a horrible procedure. Also, Freddie Prinze Jr. is the best Jedi. Um, let's see. Chris Curran, welcome to the live stream. And Tommy, thank you so much for being here. Snowdub. Let's see. Anybody else join the chats here? We'll see as we scroll down. And Vlad Riot, I think you were here earlier, but thank you for being here, man. Chris Curran says at Second Street Marvel, this is why you're a great member of the Tuesday live stream. Well, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. I appreciate that. And yeah, and and to me, that's one of the things. That's why one of the reasons I like being a part on the Dark Council is because I'm not a Fandom Menace, or I'm not part of the Fandom Menace, but I understand. I guess I just understand people, and I won't limit my reach to other people by saying I don't want to talk to you. No, no, you're part of the Fandom Menace. No, 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 I can't talk to you. I can't even act like I like you or agree with anything you say. That's just not me. And thank you, and thanks again, Chris. Chris, I appreciate that. Wookiee Supremacy says, I'd kind of like to see a Star Wars conversation between Lord Callus and Archie Outpost. Those two combined are a living Star Wars encyclopedia. Yeah, yeah, indeed. Darth Wacko says, Second Street Marvel, it sounds that they're looking for attention. Lord Callus is cool. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, is ultimately you're begging for attention, but they're just going about it in the wrong way. Vlad Wright says, Second Street Marvel, you always find professors on the internet. Yes, yes, definitely, definitely. Um, Darth Wacko says they need to look at themselves first. Exactly. That's the thing. Is a lot of these people, they just like oh, and just start talking shit and throwing shade at people. Like, whoa, buddy, you're not doing anything to help out fandom neither. So don't be casting stones at yourself. Essentially, you're just looking in a mirror. You're just not liking that mirror version. That's all that it is. Just like all this whole thing with people saying like, oh, we're tired of all these politics in our entertainment. No, you're tired of your politics not being in the entertainment, that it's somebody else's. That's what it is. It's not the fact that there's a politics. Politics have been like people's personal politics have been part of entertainment since the beginning of time. That's exactly what it's about. They are mediums of expressing oneself. That's exactly what it's all about. Um, let's see here. Second Street Pornhub. He says you need a new parody First Street DC. That's funny. Wookiee Supremacy says B Level and Max are just bitchy children that really need to stand in the corner and think about what they've done. Yeah, and agreed. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is like if you got to like I don't like the one thing I like about Max is he's passionate about what he's talking about. He goes on and he's a madman, but he also does that. He will look in the mirror and say like, okay, like he's willing to look in the mirror at himself. He does do that, though. Do that beforehand. Do that before you go on your rant. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with being passionate, but do that before you go on your rant. Think about what you say first before you go out there and do it and just make an ass of yourself. You know what I mean? 32nd Boulevard, Hello Kitty. Oh, Snowdeb says Mad Max is a character. He's actually pretty funny. I don't agree with everything he says, but I don't ostracize him because of what he says. Exactly. Yeah, and I'm right there with you, Snowdub. I am. Like, I love Mad Max. He's great. He's a good dude. The thing is, the way he presents himself is what really gets a lot of people not liking him and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Tommy says Trinity may need to look into blood pressure meds before the year's out. Be easy. No, I'm good, man. I'm good. Darth Racco says the Phantom Menace loves Star Wars. We just want it protected and done correctly, like the Mandalorian. Right? Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Let's see. Tommy says Lord Callus is the champ. Yeah, Lord Callus is the man, dude. Vlad Wright says, I think it's going back to the lack of security people are feeling. They need others to feel the same way they do. Exactly, exactly. Kermit the Log, what's up, my brother? How you doing? He says, Hail Second Street Marvel and F a holes. Yeah, exactly. That's what I like to do to them anyway. You know what I'm saying? um, Vlad Wright says maybe he has a crush on Jeremy, and that's the same thing I said about Max a long time ago. It's like he loves Jeremy. He loves Jeremy. It gets him the clicks. It gets him the attention. Um, Too Many Comics says, I won't make a video on a book I didn't like. Life's too short. Now, see, and that's where I differ is I will do a video on a book I don't like because to me, it makes me work harder to actually be critical of it without just being an asshole. You know, I mean, it's easy to look at something and be like, this is trash. Don't read it. A 6-year-old can do that. You know. Let's see. Tommy says, Second Street Madness. Listen to his rants. His rants feel his anger as he turns to the dark side. Aggressively relaxing says, what if you talk shit in a fun, whimsical way like me? Well, yeah, that's different. But the thing is like, there's a difference between talking shit and just talking shit about somebody else just for attention. That's ultimately what it is. And that's what these guys are doing, just talking shit about other people for attention. You want the attention, just you don't have to talk shit about somebody to get the attention that you're seeking. You just don't have to do it. Let's see. Where's some more here? Kermit the Log says, you have credibility with me. Well, thanks, man. Thank you, Kermit the Log. And you have credibility with me, too, dude. You're a great guy, man. Hashtag Cotton Connection. Hashtag Jenner Check. Hashtag I Stand with Jolly. Hashtag, are there any other hashtags I'm forgetting here? I Stand with Kermit, I guess. Let's see. Aggressively Relaxing says, the news story has been great, Wookie. I'm really looking forward to what happens next. Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's see. Am I about caught up here? It looks like I am. Aggressively Relaxing says, MMA has gotten too PC. Amanda Nunes is a Mary Sue. That's funny. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for this episode today. Again, like I said, we got this guy, Counsel in Exile on Twitter, acting like a child. I'm sure I'm probably gonna have to get on here and respond to him because they're taking, that's the thing is people read somebody's words and like, oh, they take them out of context. He's on here saying like, oh, you said this and that. And I'm like, I didn't say that. Learn to read. You know what I mean? Learn to read. Reading and comprehension go a long way. Like I see people that know how to read, but they don't know how to comprehend what they read. Public schools have failed you. So have your parents. I'm just saying. Learn to read and comprehend what you're reading. I haven't, this guy's on here saying I've talked trash about this and that. I haven't talked trash about anybody. I haven't disparaged anybody. But you have. I actually went out and even talked shit about my good friend, the Lord Callus. And, if you don't like his content, that's one thing, but you don't have to talk shit about him. You don't have to like his content, but just because I watch his content, not yours, doesn't, that's not a statement meant to hurt you. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for this video today, folks. Thank you all so much for tuning into the Second Street Marvel to see me talk shit about some other people. Which I didn't do. But anyway, you all have a very good day. Don't forget the Trailer Park Live is tonight at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And don't forget my 1-year anniversary live stream is coming up on Sunday. It'll probably be Sunday morning-ish. I'll make a thumbnail and I'll do all that stuff up and let you be aware of it. But you need to go back and watch the video that I did last Monday called Road to 1000 1-year anniversary to find out how to get entered into some of the giveaways that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be giving away a copy of Neon Future Volume 1. It's a trade paperback on Impact Theory Comics, one of my it's got to be my favorite indie comic book of the year. Make sure you go watch the video and get entered into it. The only thing you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, do what I tell you in the video to get entered into the giveaway, and be a resident of the United States. Shipping charges and stuff. But anyway, you all have a very good day. Have a great Black Friday. Go out there and beat some people up for your gifts and stuff like that because that couple extra dollars is worth punching somebody in the face. You all have a very good day. We'll see you guys tonight on the Trailer Park Live. Later. Hey, what happened to my intro there? What's going on? There we go. Now we got that outro music working. There we go. There we go. That's better. Y'all have a good one.